3.
Basically, this generation is more liberal, more tolerant, more Democrat-leaning than the one before. It's not just because they're young.
For another point of view, it's Hard News with Russell Brown and Wammo on Kiwi.
Yep, you'll find them over at publicaddress.net, the Hard News blog, also on Media 7 on TBNZ7 Thursday evenings. Russell Brown joins us. Good morning, Russell.
Good morning.
First up this morning, a revolting piece of shit is what you called it.
Indeed.
And now that gets the top result in Google.
Yep, top result in Google for the search string revolting piece of shit is my blog yesterday morning.
Why?
Because obviously a few people linked to it. I was referring to, if people hadn't guessed, the controversial Dirty Sesh video, which, what were they thinking?
Yeah, so now Dirty Sesh, he's a hip-hop musician who just happens to be the son of Mr. King, Mike King. And he's come out with a video that has NZ On Air funding. How would you describe its contents?
Nasty, misogynistic violence against women. It's just, it's really hard to understand, what Mike King thought he was doing. And this is the thing that annoys me. I mean, Mike King, I've got a huge amount of respect for what he's done with the Nutters Club project and the pork thing and that kind of thing, but I don't think he's telling the truth when he says he was unaware of the content of this video, because he paid for the recording project and the video, and he oversaw the editing of it, and he really has to front up, because, this is his teenage son, and I gather people, did warn him about it.
How old is Mr. Sesh?
I don't know. He's a teenager. I'm not sure exactly how old he is. But it's just yeah. And I'm not terribly impressed by all the ducking and diving around the NZ On Air thing either. I don't blame NZ On Air because they don't get to pre-approved video content.
Yeah.
And they were presented with a project that looked completely legitimate. But
although
the idea that there is a clean version of a nice version of this that NZ On Air funded, and a nasty version that's only on the internet is ridiculous. They were both clearly shot and edited at the same time.
Okay, and the so-called clean version, I mean, is it much more sanitised?
It's still kind of creepy. It involves stalking and but yeah, it's not quite like the other one is. And this does seem to have generated a fair degree of controversy within the hip-hop community. I don't think people are terribly impressed by this, and it's certainly being seen. Nathan King as having Daddy pay for his record and his video.
Yeah. But with NZ On Air funding, though.
Yeah. There was a lot more in on top of that for the recording as well. What do
you make of the actual? Besides the video, because the video only gets funding based on the song from NZ On Air. What do you think of the song?
Yeah, the song. Because the nasty version of the video actually has two of the songs from the record mixed together in it, just to make it confusing. I don't know. It seems sort of unexceptional Eminem wannabe to me. The interesting thing now is that there's been a couple of response records have popped up on YouTube and other places, and they seem like better records to me, frankly.
Right. Yeah.
But it is, I really think Mike King's got to stop pretending he didn't know about any of this. He's the grown-up.
Yeah.
And that really seems to have been what has been missing here, is a grown-up in the room, prepared to actually act like one. And I think that includes Kirk Harding from Move the Crowd as well, who's someone who I've got a huge amount of respect for. I think, what he's done for New Zealand hip-hop when he didn't really have to has been remarkable, but boy, did he think here?
Yeah. I mean, I only got sort of about a minute in before I couldn't sort of stomach it anymore. I felt really uncomfortable watching it.
Yeah.
And I'm no prude, I don't think.
Same here.
I enjoy a good slasher flick, and it was interesting seeing some of the comments come out yesterday. So, for example, Ant Timpson was saying, and he's from the Incredibly Strange Film Festival and whatnot, he was saying, well, this video is very well made, it's an ode to the slasher films and that kind of thing, and why is everyone getting up in arms about this?
Because in slasher films, there's usually some sort of moral comeuppance. There's some sort of, there is some thought in it. There doesn't seem to be a single thought in this video. It's a piece of shit. It really is. And I know that Ant has had trouble with the likes of the Society for the Promotion of Community Standards, leaping on everything he tries to show in the film festival. I can understand that. But this is something that's still actually not even R18 on YouTube yet, and it's just not something that if it was a video game, it wouldn't have been released. And with the situation we're at now is that the Society for the Promotion of Community Standards, as it often does, has complained to the chief censor, who, as he is required to by law, will have a look at it. I'm quite interested and impressed by the way he's doing it, though, because he said, I'm not going to reach a speedy decision on this one. I would like to hear submissions on this. So, various interested groups will be able to do that. So.
And just going back to the NZ on Air side of things, I mean, they fund stuff based on the fact that it should, or that they think it will get airplay, right?
Yes, yeah, and that includes the commercial viability or quality of the track, and also undertakings made around the promotion and marketing. So they'll fund something that looks like it's a well-organised project.
Now I'm surprised that apparently has already happened. Someone told me that it was seen on C4, the Clean Edit or whatever it's called, was seen on C4 the other night.
Ah, right. Oh well, and I'm not terribly surprised that that's happened. But it's going to be interesting to see whether they keep playing it.
Hey, can we stay with New Zealand music? Yesterday, the other controversy about the internet was the choice of Right Here, Right Now by Jesus Jones, sung by the Feelers for the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
My point on this yesterday was, well, I mean, you could choose any kind of, meathead rugby song, that's fine with me, but at least make it a New Zealand writer so that the royalties stay in New Zealand?
Yeah, I have to agree. Although, I mean, what would you have picked?
Oh, well, it could be like She Hard Run.
Yep.
Run and on. You can imagine that.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Yeah, that would have worked.
And I'm sure John, for all the dissing he's done of rugby and sporting buffheads, would have managed to swallow his pride on that.
Well, no doubt. I mean, I think it's been used for sports before, so...
Yeah. Actually, She Had would have been... Yeah, you're right, that song would have been ideal. And it's such a boring, uncreative choice what they've done, isn't it?
Well, it's obviously it's safe, but I'm just very disappointed about the royalty aspect. Here was an opportunity for a New Zealand artist to make a crap load of cash, and it's gone wanting. Yeah,
and to be honest, it's a very wimpy version of that song too.
Yeah, well, it's the Feelers. All right. Finally, let's finish on something very cool that you saw on the internet last night.
The Large Hadron Collider at CERN. It was. I mean, I've noticed on Twitter. I was about to go to bed, and I noticed that. Oh, hang on! It looks like after it being broken again this morning, it looks like it might be happening.
Yeah.
And the streaming video from CERN was remarkably good.
Wow. What could you see?
You could see they got more and more excited, and more people piled into the control rooms of the four different experimental groups, and it was just great to watch, actually. All these badly dressed people getting more and more excited.
So was it just people in control rooms and twiddling knobs and whatnot?
Yeah. Well, they all crowded in as well, and there were people looking at their laptops, and you could just see there's just quite a buzz. And then the tweet came through: "Experiment have seen collisions." Followed by 10 exclamation marks. So they were very excited. But there were all these little things that you could look at, because they had to align the paths of the particles they were smashing together.
Yeah.
And that was gradually converging, and they had four different experiments where that needed to happen first. And in a funny way, for something where nothing visible was happening, there was actually quite a lot to watch.
It reminds me of watching NASA take launches and landings. You don't actually generally see much, but you just see people in control room. You see the odd computer diagram of where it is in relation to the Earth at the moment. But for some reason, that is exciting enough.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was quite exciting. And also, Jaleesa Gracewood's husband, who's a physicist, baked a Large Hadron Collider chocolate cake.
Great.
Which I'll try and use in the blog today because it's really remarkable. It's bloody good.
One of those round baking tins.
Yeah.
And
it really, it's got particle events on it. They smash together, and I thought, well, physicists, eh? You gotta love them.
Brilliantly geeky. Thanks so much, Russell.
Okay, cheers.
Russell Brown at publicaddress.net, also the Media 7 show, TVNZ.